comes to rocket launchers, it's hard to ignore Himars. Its engineers describe it as the most technically advanced, affordable, and sustainable artillery solution. This is one of the main reasons why they've been donated to Ukraine to help defend their country. Himars has been a game changer in the war, but why is that the case? What makes this rocket launcher and its rockets so dangerous and in a world-leading class? That's what we're going to look at today in this video. Himars stands for High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, and its name tells you everything about why it's so useful. Not only is it a very powerful rocket launching system, but it's also very transportable, meaning that it's easy and quick to get it to where it needs to be on the battlefield. The creation of Himars was driven by the need to equip infantry, airborne, and rapid deployment units with high mobile rocket launchers suitable for airlift to anywhere they were needed. In early 2004, the production testing of the Himars combat vehicle was completed. During one of the tests, a C-130 plane successfully delivered to Fort Sill Eastern Firing Range in Oklahoma. In less than 5 minutes, the vehicle was unloaded. It then received a mission via combat data and fired off 6 training rockets. Himars became a lighter version of the M270 MLRS predecessor and entered into service with the U.S. Army and Marine Corps in 2005. 900 launchers were planned to be built, but reports suggest only 540 Himars launchers were built instead. The first certified unit to have Himars was the 3rd Division, 27th Field Artillery Regiment, 18th Airborne Corps. The Himars system features an M142 fighting vehicle, transport and charging vehicle, unguided and guided rockets, which we'll explain in more detail later, and fire control equipment. The M142 vehicle is made of a modified chassis of a 5-ton truck with 6x6 wheel configuration. The engine is a Caterpillar 3116 AT-AAC diesel with gas turbine supercharging, 6.6-liter, and has 290 horsepower at 2,600 RPM. It also has 6 cylinders, a fuel reserve of 56 gallons, and a power reserve of 480 kilometers. The vehicle's transmission is an Allison automatic 7-speed gearbox. The suspension on the M142 is parabolic with leaf springs. It has a very useful ground clearance of 564 millimeters, which helps it overcome water obstacles with a depth of almost a meter. The system can fire an array of rockets, and reloading is made by the crew in only 4 to 5 minutes. They're helped by an integrated crane and escorted by an MTVR Mark 37 resupply vehicle. This truck carries 2 sets of reload rockets and is also fitted with an integral crane. If needed, it can also tow a trailer with 2 more pods. The reloading process is done remotely from a firing position. This is done to avoid counter-battery fire. Pods with rockets can be unloaded in various locations down an arranged route. The launcher vehicle travels from one location to another, loads a new pod with rockets, fires them immediately, and then travels to another location to pick up a new pod. All of these traits help Himars to be ultra-portable. Another reason why this is the case is the portability of the whole system itself. This artillery system can be airlifted by a C-130 Hercules aircraft. This plane can only carry a single Himars at any one time. For more artillery, the larger C-17 Globemaster III can carry 3 loaded or 4 empty Himars systems if needed. This artillery system is rapidly deployable, and it can be airlifted anywhere in the world. On top of this, the wheeled vehicles can self-deploy over long distances if required. In terms of the rockets that Himars can fire, this is easily adjustable depending on the mission needed. M26 was the baseline 227mm rocket. It's 3.96 meters long and weighs 307 kilograms. This rocket had a range of 32 kilometers and fitted with a 120 kilogram dual-purpose warhead equipped with 644 bomblets. These stats made it highly effective against troops and vehicles. Then there's the M30 guided rocket, or Guided Multiple Launch Rocket System. Other names for this include Guided MLRS or GMLRS. It was built to counter the threat of hostile long-range rocket and cannon artillery. It was a replacement for the basic M26 rockets and other defunct weaponry. GMLRS has a 65 to 70 kilometer range, and its built-in GPS means it has a much higher accuracy than its predecessors. It's fitted with a dual-purpose warhead with 404 bomblets. The M30 provides the same number of hits as the M26 and M26A2, but fewer rockets are needed to hit the target. Now M30A1 and M31A1 variants have taken over the original M30 GMLRS. Himars is also capable of launching the Army Tactical Missile System, or ATA-CMS. These rockets are designed to engage point targets such as command posts, missile launchers, air defense facilities, communication centers, warehouses of fuel and lubricants, located in heavily guarded areas any conditions, day or night. It performs its flight along the semi-ballistic trajectory, when its initial acceleration is carried out on a pre-programmed rigid trajectory. After this, the flight is then in a controlled mode. The missile is controlled by aerodynamic rudders using signals from the onboard control system, which uses real-time information to adjust the angle of impact. It can be launched at an angle to the firing plane at ranges less than the maximum, which hides the coordinates of the starting position. ATA-CMS has recently been in the news as part of the defense package that Ukraine has received, but another type of rocket has also been in the headlines for the same reason. This is the Ground-Launched Small Diameter Bomb, or GLSDB, as designed by Saab and Boeing. These rockets are highly effective at long ranges against moving targets. The system uses an existing weapon paired with a rocket motor. The difference between GLSDB and traditional artillery weapons is that it offers 360-degree coverage for high and low angles of attack. In real terms, this means the weapon can fly around mountains to hit the enemy, or it can even circle back around to a target behind where the rocket was launched. It has a range of 93 miles in front of the launch vehicle, or alternatively, it can hit targets 43 miles behind it. This system has proved highly popular with US allies around the world and has been exported to Jordan, Singapore, and the United Arab Emirates. There are also other countries that have been considering purchasing the system. In 2022, Estonia ordered 6 Himars systems, and in 2023, Taiwan plans to purchase 29 Himars vehicles. More famously, 16 Himars systems were delivered to Ukraine in order to help their defense against the Russian invasion. These proved to be an extremely accurate and deadly system for the Ukrainian army. Multiple Russian command posts, ammunition storages, and concentrations of troops and armored vehicles, as well as bridges, were taken out by Himars. More significantly, the location of a lot of these targets were well back from the Russian front lines. Russian air defenses struggled to cope with the accuracy of the attacks, and in comparison to Russian equivalents, Himars proved to have a better range and accuracy. Deliveries of Himars and M270 MLRS systems to Ukraine have made a huge difference in the narrative of the Ukrainian war. As Lockheed Martin says, Himars is one of the most cost-effective yet destructive weapons available. This has made it an excellent addition to the Ukrainian defenses. Its versatility but super quick deployment speeds means it can be introduced to any part of the battlefield in record time. And once it's set up, rockets like ATA-CMS, GMLRS, and GLSDB have shown to be deadly accurate at a variety of ranges. As the war in Ukraine progresses, it's not known what will be its conclusion. But what is known is that Himars is having a massive impact in protecting Ukraine and its people with devastating impact. What do you think about the Himars? Let us know in the comments below, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to Spotlight for more. Thanks for watching.
Germans are world-renowned for their excellent engineering, and when Rheinmetall started drawing up plans for a new infantry fighting vehicle, the world stood up and took notice. After years of development, the Lynx is now starting to enter service. There are 2 main variants of this IVF, and the more recent one represents perhaps one of the heaviest and well-protected IFVs ever made. Let's take a closer look at this military beast. Military operations are growing increasingly complex and hard to predict. This makes a completely new vehicle concept important to keep up with an ever-changing battlefield. As a result, the Lynx was developed to be highly adaptable. The first Lynx, known as the KF51 IFV, was introduced in 2016. The letters KF in the designation stand for Kettenfahrzeug, or tracked vehicle. In 2018, an improved Lynx KF41 was first shown to the public. It is a slightly larger vehicle that can accommodate more troops and has a more powerful engine. The KF41 Lynx is longer than the earlier version. The KF31 measures 7.22 meters, whereas the KF41 Lynx measures 7.73 meters. It also weighs in at 44 tons, which is 10 tons more than the KF31. The KF41 has been designed to offer a new generation of tracked armored offering modularity and a high level of protection. The feature at the heart of this vehicle's design concept is the separation and modularity of the vehicle into two parts: the basic vehicle and specialist mission and role equipment. This design approach combines the functional, cost, and through-life advantages of a modular structure and the weight, space, and cost advantages of an integral hull design. In 2018, the Lynx KF41 variant was presented with a Lance 2.0 turret, the next generation of the in-service Lance family, and has been developed to improve its suitability for an infantry fighting vehicle. Lance 2.0 has various enhancements that provide a troop of Lynx KF41 vehicles with a very high level of organic capability. This allows troops to have a disproportionate effect on the battlefield. The Lance 2.0 features enhanced protection for critical subsystems against kinetic and fragmentation threats, improving system survivability during close combat. The next enhancement is the integration of the new Wotan 35 electrically driven 35mm cannon that fires Rheinmetall's proven and in-service 35 by 228mm ammunition family. Due to its large caliber, the Wotan 35 delivers a longer range and deeper penetration. A 7.62mm coaxial machine gun is mounted to the left of the main armament. The Lance 2.0 turret also has two flexible mission pods fitted to the left and right of the turret that allow the installation of a variety of subsystems to give the turret a specialist capability. The turret can also be armed with the proven Rheinmetall 30mm cannon and one 7.62mm coaxial machine gun. The roof of the turret can be equipped with remotely controlled main sensor-slaved armament that works in conjunction with the commander's panoramic sight and is armed with one 12.7mm heavy machine gun. The KF41 Lynx has a unique design, using a common drive module and a flexible mission kit arrangement to allow any base vehicle to be configured as an infantry fighting vehicle, an armored personnel carrier, a command vehicle, a recovery vehicle, or an ambulance. The driver position is located at the front left side of the hull. It has three large vision blocks offering world-leading front and side vision. The mission kit includes a drop-in roof plate that can be fitted to any drive module with associated equipment to create a Lynx variant. It only takes 8 hours for a mission kit to be exchanged and the protection configuration modified. The crew compartment is designed as a mission-neutral space with the incorporation of C-rails and a pattern of universal fixing points on the walls and floors. The space inside the Lynx KF41 drive module is unrivaled for a tracked infantry fighting vehicle with a manned turret. 8 dismount seats can be seen folded up, with the Lance 2.0 turret basket in the background. The drive module has space for up to 9 blast-reducing troop seats, in addition to a crew of 3 in the case of a manned Lance 2.0 turret. The infantrymen enter and leave the vehicle through a large power-operated ramp mounted at the rear of the shared drive module, positioned between the cooling systems. The modular survivability systems of the Lynx provide unprecedented flexibility to cope with the wide variety of threats faced. The ballistic and mine protection packages can be easily exchanged, even in the field if needed, while the full spectrum of threats has been taken into account, including roof protection against cluster munitions. The Lance turret is designed with an integral ballistic protection cell for the crew. There are no weapons or ammunition stowed in this cell, as the main and coaxial weapons are fitted in cradles at the front of and external to the cell. The main armament ammunition is stowed in a separate compartment that wraps around the sides and rear of the turret. The mission pod can contain 2 Spike LR-2 long-range anti-tank guided missiles, suicide drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, electronic warfare packages, surface-to-air missiles, or various other systems. The KF51 Lynx has a power pack in the front of the hull, including a 1,140 horsepower Leopard engine and a proven Renk transmission. The final drives are mounted in the front, and the idler sprockets with track tensioners are mounted at the rear. The running gear has 6 road wheel stations per side, which guide a lightweight end connector track. The Lynx uses an advanced military suspension system which is designed to withstand extreme force, and the bump stops are engineered to reduce intense shocks. The propulsion system gives a max speed of 70 km per hour and an operational range of 500 km. Standard equipment of the KF51 Lynx includes heating, air conditioning, fire suppression, cooling, and nuclear, biological, and chemical filtration systems combined in an environmental control system. The vehicle is also fitted with a self-protection system, including the Rheinmetall 40mm rapid obscuration system and active protection system, designed to prevent line-of-sight guided anti-tank missiles from acquiring and/or destroying a target. The vehicle design also presents low visual, thermal, and acoustic signatures to improve battlefield survivability. The turret of the KF51 Lynx is equipped with an electro-optical sensor system panoramic sight with an integrated laser rangefinder and FCS for the commander and gunner, laser warning system, acoustic shooter locating system, situational awareness system featuring day-night vision, and automatic target recognition and video processing and distribution unit. The Optronic enables the turret crew to have unrestricted and class-leading capabilities for automatic detection, recognition, and identification of targets, whilst maintaining observation at day and night while staying protected inside the turret. There is a 360-degree independent digital sight for the commander and a digital sight for the gunner. The Lynx KF41 was submitted for Australian and Czech procurement programs. In 2018, a single Lynx KF41 was presented on a military parade in Qatar. However, the status of the Qatari vehicle is unclear. In 2020, the Lynx was selected by Hungary, and a total of 218 of these armored vehicles were ordered. These will be produced in Hungary by a joint venture. The first batch of 46 vehicles is planned to be delivered to the Hungarian military this year. The Lynx is expected to be picked up by armies the world over, as it is one of the most adaptable and powerful vehicles in its class. What do you think about the Lynx IFV? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Main battle tanks are key military weapons as they provide direct fire and durability on the battlefield. Today, it's common to see military units that consist of main battle tanks only, as these weapons are advanced enough to perform operations without other units. In recent years, their impressive development led to awesome machines with very powerful armor and high-tech systems. The M1 Abrams family of main battle tanks, which entered service in 1980, is America's contribution of such weapons. Over the years, there have been extensive improvements to this incredible machine, and it still serves as the main battle tank of the United States Army. In this video, we're going to take a look at how it all started and how it has improved. The M1 Abrams main battle tank was developed by Chrysler Defense, now General Dynamics Land Systems, with production starting in the 1970s.
This main battle tank was named in honor of General Abrams, commander of U.S. forces during the Vietnam War. It first entered service in 1980 and was produced for the U.S. Army from 1978 until 1992. The M1A1 entered production in 1985, followed by the M1A2 in 1986. During Operation Desert Storm, 2,000 M1 Abrams tanks were used. The M1 proved vastly superior, and not a single tank was destroyed by enemy fire. Since then, the Army has modernized its M1 inventory with a series of upgrades to improve the tank's capabilities. The M1 Abrams features composite armor similar to British Cobham, which features multiple layers of steel and ceramics. It may also be fitted with explosive reactive armor. Interior of the tank is lined with Kevlar protecting the crew against spalling. Ammunition is stored in the turret bustle with blowout panels. It is fitted with the M68A1 105mm rifled gun, which is loaded manually. The M1 is compatible with all standard NATO 105mm tank ammunition. A total of 55 rounds are carried for the main gun, including 44 rounds stored in the turret bustle and 11 rounds stored in protective containers inside the hull. This tank has a modern fire control system with a high first hit probability. It can destroy tank-sized targets at a range of 2 kilometers while firing on the move. Secondary armament consists of a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun. Also, there's a 12.7mm and another 7.62mm machine gun mounted on top of the roof. The M1 Abrams weighs 54.54 tons, measures 7.92 meters in length, 3.65 meters in width, and 2.38 meters in height. It has a top road speed of 72.4 kilometers per hour and has a range of 498 kilometers. There's a crew of 4, including the driver, commander, gunner, and ammunition loader. The driver sits at the front of the tank inside the hull, while the commander stands inside the rotating turret. The gunner sits at his feet. Armored bulkheads separate the fuel tanks from the crew compartment. The M1 Abrams is powered by an Avco Lycoming, now Honeywell, AGT 1500 gas turbine engine, developing 1,500 horsepower. Essentially, it's a modified helicopter engine, adapted for use on tanks. It's a multi-fuel engine which can run on any grade of petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, and kerosene. This engine has impressive performance and is compact for its power output. So even though the Abrams tank is heavy and bulky, it's surprisingly agile. It is faster than any other tanks and has superior cross-country performance. Also, the engine is remarkably quiet. Due to this feature, the Abrams is even nicknamed the Whispering Death. The M1 was followed in production by the improved M1A1, which has an improved armor protection compared with its predecessor. The front turret and hull armor of the M1A1 features advanced composite armor reinforced with depleted uranium mesh for better protection. One of the most important improvements over the M1 is the M256 120mm smoothbore gun, originally developed by Rheinmetall and produced in the USA under license. This gun is loaded manually, and the ammunition load was decreased to 40 rounds due to its larger size. The M1A1 Abrams has a range of effective fire in excess of 4 kilometers, which was successfully demonstrated during Operation Desert Storm in 1991. A special M829A2 armor-piercing round was developed for the M1A1 to counter the threat possessed by the latest, at the time, Soviet-Russian main battle tanks. The M1A2 Abrams main battle tank is a further development of the M1A1. Currently, it is one of the best main battle tanks in the world. It is planned that this tank will remain in service beyond 2050. Protection of the M1A2 was improved by using depleted uranium mesh at the front of the hull and turret. It offers significant protection against all known anti-tank weapons. However, overall weight increased to 62.5 tons. Protection of the M1A2 Abrams is considered to be one of the best in the world. The tanks can be fitted with explosive reactor armor blocks, and some tanks are equipped with missile countermeasure devices intended to detect and jam guidance of the laser-guided missiles. The M1A2 has an improved fire control system, and its components' range of effective fire is in excess of 4 kilometers. This tank has a target acquisition system with hunter-killer capability. Whereas many tanks produced in the early 90s lacked this capability, this main battle tank can be airlifted by a C-5 Galaxy or C-17 Globemaster III military transport aircraft. The M1A2 SEP or System Enhancement Program variant, is a successor to the M1A2. It has improved armor protection, improved system components, improved computer components, and some other improvements. The SEP V2 is fitted with a remotely operated weapon station, armed with 12.7mm machine gun. The first M1A2 SEP tank was delivered to the US Army in 1999. There are at least 900 M1A2 SEP tanks in service. 240 of them were newly built. The others were upgraded to this standard from the M1, M1A1, and M1A2 tanks. The Tank Urban Survival Kit was developed for the Abrams series tanks to improve their survivability in an urban environment. Once the kit is applied, the tank has improved protection, firepower, and situational awareness. The kit can be applied by the units in field conditions. The SEP V3 is the current production version of the Abrams tank. This version rectifies many of the space, weight, and power issues identified during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Improvements focus on increasing the electrical power margin, vehicle health management systems, integrated counter-improvised explosive device protection, a new auxiliary power unit enabling silent watch, embedded training, and an ammunition data link. It is the most reliable Abrams tank ever produced. The SEP V4 is the most lethal Abrams tank and is now in development, featuring the third-generation forward-looking infrared cameras, the cornerstone technology that will provide tank crews the ability to identify enemy tanks farther than ever before. With the upgrade, the Abrams will integrate a color camera, eye-safe laser rangefinder, a cross-platform laser pointer to facilitate multi-domain battle into the commander's sight. This program began early enough to onboard any technology the Army deems critical to the future battlefield, to include artificial intelligence, autonomy, APS, or advanced sensors. The Abrams main battle tank closes with and destroys the enemy using mobility, firepower, and shock effect. It is a full-tracked, low-profile land combat assault weapon, enabling expeditionary warfighters to dominate their adversaries through lethal firepower, unparalleled survivability, and audacious maneuver. This tank sends a clear message to those who oppose the United States as to the resolve, capability, and might of the US Army. What do you think of the insane power of the Abrams? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Sometimes the old ways are the best. That's certainly the case with the Gepard air defense system. This anti-aircraft weapon was developed decades ago, but still represents some of the most trusted weaponry when it comes to defending land from aerial threats. It's proof that effective engineering can stand the test of time and become a staple of the battlefield, even at the fast-paced way it's moving. Let's take a closer look at the Gepard air defense system. The Gepard, aka German for cheetah, is a self-propelled anti-aircraft gun that was developed in the 1960s as a private venture. In 1966, the Germans needed a replacement for the M42 gun, which was already obsolete. Its prototypes were built in 1968, and it entered military service with the Bundeswehr in 1973, known as the Flak Panzer I Gepard. A total of a massive 420 of these vehicles were built for the German Army. Its role is to protect combat units, troops, and key installations against air attacks. Its radar, which is used to lock onto targets, is thought to be so accurate that it can lock onto birds. To take out its target, the Gepard is fitted with a two-man electric power-operated turret armed with twin Aerlikon KDA 35mm guns. The guns work with an automatic belt feed, and each barrel length is 90 calibers or 3,150 millimeters. The rate of fire with the two barrels is 1,100 rounds a minute. Each 35mm gun has 320 rounds of ready-to-fire anti-air ammunition and 20 rounds of anti-ground target ammunition. The guns are able to fire a range of standardized 35mm ammunition, including the new frangible armor-piercing discarding sabot or FAPDS rounds. These rounds have a muzzle velocity greater than 1,400 meters a second. The Gepard is also equipped with 8 smoke dischargers installed on either side of the turret. Current Gepard engineers KMW developed a missile system for the vehicle using the Stinger surface-to-air missile system. The twin Stinger launching system was fitted onto the side of the 35mm twin gun on a single unit. The system was tested but was not deployed due to financial constraints. The system has a digital fire control computer supplied by European Aeronautic Defense and Space. The miniaturized digital computer uses 32-bit Motorola 68020 microprocessors, single-board computers with dedicated arithmetic coprocessors, and a command, control, and communications interface. All the data handled by the fire control system is related to the fixed vehicle coordinate system. But it's the radar that's the real strength of this weapon system. The Gepard has independent search and tracking radars. The search radar is installed at the front rear of the turret, and the tracking radar is on the rear front of the turret. The radars give 360-degree scanning with simultaneous target tracking, clutter suppression, search on the move capability, and monopulse tracking mode. The S-band search radar installed on the original version of the Gepard has a range of 15 kilometers and subclutter visibility of 60 decibels. The vehicle's design is based on the tracked armored chassis of the Leopard 1 main battle tank. The significant difference is the original turret is removed and replaced by a 2-man anti-aircraft gun system. It is operated by a crew of 3, including a driver, commander, and gunner. The driver is seated at the front of the hull, on the right side. The turret is mounted in the center of the hull, with the commander seated on the left and the gunner on the right. The turret and the hull of the Gepard are of all-welded steel construction to give protection against the firing of small arms and artillery shell splinters. This air defense system is powered by an MTU MB838CA M500 10-cylinder multi-fuel engine giving 830 horsepower at 2200 RPM. It has the same suspension and tracks as the Leopard 1 that it's based on, which has 7 dual light metal rubber-tired road wheels with the drive sprocket at the rear, idler at the front, and 4 track return rollers on either side. It can climb a gradient of 60% and a vertical obstacle of 1.15 meters. If needed, the Gepard can cross a trench of 3 meters and has a fording depth of 2.5 meters. The weapon has proved to be highly popular worldwide. In February 2022, it was announced that parent company KMW would deliver 50 decommissioned Gepard anti-aircraft tracked armored vehicles to Ukraine as part of Russian countermeasures following the invasion by Russia. This anti-aircraft weapon is currently also in service with Germany, Brazil, Chile, Jordan, Romania, and the Netherlands. There have also been several more deliveries of Gepard units to Ukraine following the initial support package. All of this shows that, despite the fact that this weapon was designed in the 60s, it's still one of the most reliable anti-aircraft vehicles available worldwide. What do you think about the Gepard? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to Spotlight for more. Thanks for watching.
For more than 40 years, the Leopard 2 main battle tank has been the main weapon system of the German Panzer Troop, or armored forces. Despite its age, the several times upgraded vehicle is still regarded as one of the best main battle tanks of the world. Many experts even rate it as the best vehicle of its class. The German army is currently fielding a new variant of the tank, the Leopard 2A7V, which again features many improvements. The V in the designation standing for verbessert, which when translated means improved. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Leopard 2 and the improvements that have been made over the years. The Leopard 2 main battle tank was developed by Krauss Maffei, now Krauss Maffei Wegmann, back in the 1970s, just a couple years after the previous Leopard 1 entered service. In those days, a clash between NATO and the Warsaw Pact was possible, and the West German Army needed a well-protected tank, which would be superior to the models introduced in the Eastern Bloc. The first prototypes of the Leopard II were completed in 1972. In 1977, Bundeswehr, the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Germany, initially ordered 1,800 of these main battle tanks to supplement and replace the Leopard I. The first production batch of 30 tanks was completed in 1979, and the Leopard II was adopted by the West German Army during the same year. At the same time of its introduction, it was a very advanced and successful design, and by 1993, the German Army operated a total of 2,155 of these main battle tanks. This main battle tank has a welded hull and turret. Composite armor of the Leopard II tank is similar to British Cobham. It offers good protection against armor-piercing rounds and anti-tank guided weapons. Ready-to-use ammunition is stowed in a separate compartment in the turret bustle with blowout panels. This improves survivability of the crew. The tank is fitted with a nuclear, biological, chemical protection system, and automatic fire suppression systems. The Leopard II main battle tank is armed with a fully stabilized Rheinmetall 120mm L44 smoothbore gun. The vehicle carries 42 rounds for the main gun. 15 ready-to-use rounds are stored in the turret bustle, while the rest are stored in the front of the hull by the driver. The tank normally uses two main types of ammunition: armor-piercing rounds and multi-purpose rounds. Germans estimated that their Leopard II tanks could penetrate the frontal armor of the Soviet T-72 tank at a range of 2,000 meters, and frontal armor of the T-62 tank at a range of over 4,000 meters. The multi-purpose round is effective against both soft and hard targets. The gun of the Leopard II tank proved to be very accurate. Secondary armor consists of two 7.62mm machine guns. One of them is coaxial, and the other is mounted on the top of the roof. The Leopard II has a crew of 4, including commander, gunner, loader, and driver. The tank is motorized with an MTU MB873 KF51 liquid-cooled V12 twin-turbo diesel engine, developing 1,479 horsepower, coupled to a Rank HSWL 354 transmission with 4 forward and 2 reverse gears, with a torque converter, and is completely automatic. With the driver selecting the range, the torsion bar suspension consists of each side of 7 dual rubber-tired road wheels, with the idler at the front, the drive sprocket at the rear, and 4-track support rollers. The Leopard II can run at a maximum road speed of 72 km per hour, with a cruising range of 550 km. It can also be fitted with a deep wading kit. After preparation, it can ford water obstacles up to 4 meters deep. Over the years, the Leopard II has seen many improvements. The Leopard II-A1 saw minor modifications and the installation of the gunner's thermal sight. Deliveries of the II-A1 models started in March 1982 and ended in November 1983. The two most notable changes were the modifications of the ammunition racks to be identical to those in the M1A1 Abrams, and redesigned fuel filters that reduce refueling time. The designation Leopard II-A2 was given to upgraded vehicles of the first batch of Leopard IIs. This modernization gradually replaced the original PZB-200 sights in the first batch, with thermal sights as they became available. The Leopard II-A3 saw minor changes, including the addition of digital radio sets. The most widespread version of the Leopard II family, the II-A4 models, included more substantial changes, including a new automated fire and explosion suppression system, an all-digital fire control system able to handle new ammunition types, and an improved turret with more armor. Production of this version commenced in 1985 and ceased in 1992. All previous models were upgraded to this standard. The Leopard II-A5 is a radically improved version. It has significantly improved armor protection compared with its predecessor. The turret is fitted with a wedge-shaped add-on modular armor. Add-on modular armor panels were also fitted at the front of the hull, meaning any damaged armor modules can be easily replaced in field conditions. New side skirts were also fitted, as well as the interior of the tank being lined to prevent spalling. The main armament of the Leopard II-A5 is identical to the Leopard II-A4, which consists of one 120mm L44 smoothbore gun. The only change was the replacement of the gun's recoil brakes with a more powerful model. The commander's sight was moved to a new position behind the hatch, and it received an independent channel. The gunner's sight was moved to the turret roof as opposed to the cavity in the front armor in the previous models. Turret control went all electric, increasing reliability and crew safety, as well as weight savings. The Leopard 2A6 is yet another radically improved version of this incredible tank. The development of the L55 gun, a more powerful, longer version of the main armament, and newly developed types of ammunition provide better penetrating power and permit target engagement at longer ranges, thereby underlying the position of the Leopard 2 as the pacemaker of tank technology. Armor protection was also improved. It is protected by composite armor of new generation and has external modular armor. The Leopard 2A6 has a hunter-killer engagement capability. The commander uses a panoramic sight to search for targets. Once the target is selected, the gun is laid on the target automatically, and the gunner completes the aiming and firing process. During that time, the commander looks for the next target. Such an engagement method allows the operatives to acquire and engage targets faster. Currently, it is present on most main battle tanks. The Leopard 2A7 is a modernized version of the 2A6 main battle tank. The main features of this new upgrade include new armor, an energy system, a crew compartment cooling system, and a new weapon engagement system. The Leopard 2A7V is the latest version of the Leopard 2A7 with enhanced protection, greater mobility, improved command and control, increased sustainability and more firepower being reasons for the procurement. However, the primary reason for the introduction of the newest variant of main battle tank was the requirement of the German army for an increased number of Leopard 2A7 main battle tanks, of which they only had 20. 104 vehicles are to be upgraded, including some existing Leopard 2A7s, old Leopard 2A4s, and surplus 2A6NLs, originating from Dutch stocks. The delivery of all 104 Leopard 2A7V is scheduled to be completed in 2023. What do you think of the Leopard 2 and all its upgrades? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. On June 13, 2022, Rheinmetall revealed its new KF51 Panther main battle tank at Eurosatory 2022 in Paris. The latest member of Rheinmetall's family of tracked vehicles, the KF51 Panther is designed to be a game-changer on the battlefields of the future. Given the current state of things on the European continent, pretty much everyone is looking anxiously at what the future of military weaponry looks like. And the Rheinmetall Kettenfahrzeug 51 Panther, also known as KF51, is one of the most impressive examples of the future. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at this impressive vehicle and see just how capable it is. Rheinmetall was founded in 1889 as Rheinische Metallwaren. Today, as an integrated technology group, Rheinmetall AG stands for a solid company that operates successfully internationally and is active in various markets with an innovative range of products and services. As a renowned development partner and direct supplier to the global automotive industry and a leading international systems provider for security technology, Rheinmetall draws on its high level of expertise in its basic technologies to address long megatrends, identify viable new markets with high growth potential, and develop innovative solutions for a safe and livable future. The focus on sustainability is an integral part of Rheinmetall's strategy. With tank warfare very much back on the agenda as the war in Ukraine rages on, Germany's Rheinmetall could not have chosen a better time to unveil its first new battle tank, KF51 Panther, a successor to the Leopard and Leopard 2 of the Cold War era, with a name recalling the Nazi-era Panzerkampfwagen V Panther that served from 1943. The KF51 Panther is the first of a new main battle tank family. In the near future, there will be further innovations that support environmentally friendly peacetime operations and further optimization in terms of automation and effectiveness. This main battle tank concept sets new standards in all areas: lethality, protection, reconnaissance, networking, and mobility. Rheinmetall began the development of major subsystems related to the Panther in 2016, with system-level design commencing in 2018. The Panther has been developed as a private venture by Rheinmetall to demonstrate the potential for increasing the lethality, mobility, survivability, and networking capabilities of main battle tanks without incurring a significant increase in weight. To reduce the weight of the Leopard 2A4 platform on which the development vehicle is based, Rheinmetall prioritized active over passive protection. Rheinmetall stated in June 2022 that it believed that the Panther could be ready for serial production within 30 months. All weapon systems are connected to the commander's and gunner's optics and the fire control computer via the fully digitalized NATO generic vehicle architecture. This enables both a hunter-killer and a killer-killer function, and thus instantaneous target engagement, in the future also supported by artificial intelligence. With its main armament, the 130mm Rheinmetall Future gun system, the KF51 Panther offers superior firepower against all current and foreseeable mechanized targets. In addition, further armament options are available to provide concentrated firepower for long-range strikes and against multiple targets. The Rheinmetall Future gun system consists of a 130mm smoothbore gun and a fully automatic ammunition handling system. The autoloader holds 20 ready rounds, compared to the current 120mm systems. The Future gun system delivers over 50% greater effectiveness at significantly longer ranges of engagement. A 12.7mm coaxial machine gun complements the main weapon. Several options for the integration of remotely controlled weapon stations offers flexibility for proximity and drone defense. The K51 Panther presented at Eurosatori 2022 is equipped with Rheinmetall's new Adder remote control weapon station in the 7.62 variant, integrating a launcher for Hero 120 loitering munition from Rheinmetall's partner U-Vision into the turret is equally possible. This enhances the K51's ability to strike targets beyond the direct line of sight. The Panther is a fully integrated, comprehensive, weight-optimized protection concept, incorporating active, reactive, and passive protection technologies. Without a doubt, the concept's most compelling feature is its active protection against kinetic energy threats. It increases the level of protection without compromising the weight of the system. With the lessons already learned from the war in Ukraine in terms of vulnerability of tanks to top attacks, Rheinmetall's top attack protection system wards off threats from above, while the fast-acting rosy smoke obscurance systems conceals the K51 from enemy observation. The K51 Panther features an innovative operating concept. It is basically designed for a three-person crew, the commander and gunner in the turret and the driver in the chassis. Thanks to the panoramic stabilized electro-optical sighting system sensor, an EMES main combat aiming device, the commander and gunner are both able to observe and engage targets independently of each other, both day and night. In addition, via display in the fighting compartment, the crew has a 360-degree round-the-clock view of the vehicle's surroundings. Integrated unmanned aerial reconnaissance systems enhance the crew's situational awareness in built-up areas and in the immediate vicinity of the vehicle. The K51 Panther builds on the mobility concept of the Leopard 2. With an operational weight of just 59 tons, it delivers far greater mobility than current systems and has a maximum operating range of around 500 kilometers. Consequently, the K51 Panther excels in tactical and strategic mobility. Thanks to Rheinmetall's innovative development approach, users, maintenance specialists, logisticians, and procurement experts from all current and future user nations can play an active role in shaping the vehicle's future. Rheinmetall has a long-standing experience in establishing global supply chains in order, in cooperation with user nations, to make sure that a large share of the production is carried out in-country, thus helping to create and/or preserve sovereign capabilities and capacities. In developing the K51, Rheinmetall not only set out to modernize existing main battle tank concepts. Starting from scratch, it completely reconceived the platform. The K51 Panther can be easily updated and equipped with the latest capabilities and functions. Its advanced modular open NATO generic vehicle architecture system enables iterative development, which can then be updated in harmony with innovation cycles. The Panther is the first new West tank to be developed since the Cold War, other than the British Challenger 2, which entered service in 1993, over 30 years before the new German design, will be combat ready. with both Russia and Western powers having invested relatively little in clean sheet tank designs after the Cold War. The T-14 being the notable exception, albeit one which is yet to be fielded in significant numbers. There's a high possibility that the Panther's unveiling could fuel accelerated developments of new tanks in the United States, Russia, and possibly in East Asia and in European countries, such as Britain and France, which have not produced tanks for some years. The current situation in Ukraine has reignited debate over the tank's future in general. While thick armor has played a crucial role in main battle tanks' conventional breakthrough function, its susceptibility to a variety of weapons has also been highlighted. In some ways, the K51 Panther appears to be addressing such facts from various perspectives. Overall, it should be lighter and more nimble than current main battle tanks, have a larger main gun, and offer stand-in observation and strike with loitering munitions. Overall, the K51 Panther arrives at a pivotal moment in tank warfare, and it has the potential to help determine the future of main battle tank forces in Germany and beyond. What do you think of K51 Panther? Is it a game changer? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. The German government recently approved a request by defense company Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann to produce 100 howitzers for the Ukrainian army. Although it will likely take many months before the first artillery units arrive in the war-torn country, Berlin's readiness to sell such a large quantity of the Panzer Haubitze 2000 howitzer makes it a significant increase in military support for Ukraine. Germany has already delivered 9 Panzer Haubitze 2000 from its army stocks to the country. The Ukrainian officials have said that the state-of-the-art weapons have already made a valuable contribution to their fight against Russia's invasion. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at this vehicle and see exactly what it's capable of. The German Panzer Haubitze 2000, also known as PZH 2000, is the current self-propelled howitzer of the German, Italian, Greek, and Dutch armies, and one of the most potent armor system type in the world. It is built by Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann and Rheinmetall. But with a chain supply network which spans Europe, it took its root in the abandoned PZH 155-1 SP-70 NATO program, joint with Italy and UK in 1986. The program first started in 1973, but had numerous defects and financial issues, and was dropped after comparative trials with the M109, which was adopted instead. However, it was decided in the 1990s to give a successor to this aging weapon system. Prototype of the PZH 2000 was completed in 1993. Initially, the German army planned to order a total of 1,254 self-propelled howitzers. However, in 1996, due to the end of the Cold War, a contract was signed for only 185 artillery systems. The first systems were delivered to the German army in 1998, and it was introduced in service in 2000. Hence its name. The layout of the PZH 2000 is conventional. The engine is mounted at the front with the turret and ammunition in the rear. The driver is seated in the hull on the right of the engine. The rest of the crew, commander, gunner, and 2 loaders, are seated in the fighting compartment. Target engagements can be carried out by a crew of 2 men. Loaders are employed only when the auto-loader fails. Shells are automatically picked up from the back of the vehicle and stowed in the auto-loader's magazine. Shells and associated charges are replenished within 12 minutes. The chassis is based on many proven components of the Leopard 1 main battle tank. Though there's always more to a weapon's success than just the hardware inside, there are, however, times when the job simply needs a very big, capable gun. The PZH 2000 self-propelled gun is aptly fitted with a 155mm L52 caliber main gun consisting of a 25-foot-long barrel designed to use standard NATO 155mm ammunition. The barrel is fitted with a muzzle brake and a projectile case ejector. The turret rotating and howitzer aiming devices are based on electric mechanisms, which are generally safer and more reliable than hydraulic units. The turret is a boxy structure with a sloped roof and sides, but flat front and rear, which represents approximately 60% of the whole length of the chassis and features a rear overhang of around 50 centimeters. It uses a phased array of radar placed on the front glasses to take measurements of the muzzle velocity when firing. The laying data can be transferred in real time via encrypted radio from the battery fire direction center. Coupled with GPS, it is so accurate that a suppression fire on moving targets, typically a convoy, can nail down anything moving on a potential 60 to 80 kilometer radius. Built into the 55-ton behemoth is storage for up to 60 projectiles. The projectiles maintain a maximum range of 30 kilometers when firing the HE frag standard round, and up to 40 kilometers with rocket-assisted projectiles. During tests, a range of 67 kilometers has been achieved with the South African rocket-assisted shells. The maximum rate of fire is almost 10 rounds per minute in a 360-degree arc. It can launch 3 shells within 10 seconds and is capable of multiple round simultaneous impact firing. The excellent range and inherent rate of fire is the advantage given to the PZH-2000 system. The main gun has an elevation range of -2.5 to +65 degrees, and the traverse range is a full 360 degrees, allowing for maximum coverage. The howitzer is also compatible with German Smart 155 guided artillery shells. These are launched in the same manner as ordinary artillery shells and have a maximum range of 27.5 kilometers. These are long-range, fire-and-forget munitions designed to destroy hostile tanks and armored vehicles. The Smart 155 shell contains 2 autonomous submunitions. One of them has an infrared sensor, while the other has a radar sensor. Once in the target area, these submunitions are ejected and deploy parachutes. Each submunition corkscrews down over the target area, scanning for targets. Once the target vehicle is detected, the submunition detonates. The target is destroyed by an explosively formed penetrator, which is created by the blast. These submunitions strike turret roofs, where armor is relatively thin. Secondary armament consists of a roof-mounted 7.62mm machine gun for self-defense. For a self-propelled howitzer, the PZH-2000 has quite a significant level of armor protection, as it has all-welded and relatively thick steel hull. The front armor provides protection against 14.5mm rounds. All-round protection is against small arms fire and artillery shell splinters. And add-on roof armor increases the level of protection against top attack weapons. The PZH-2000 is operated from under armor protection, an NBC system, fire suppression system, and smoke grenade dischargers are fitted as standard. Survivability is further increased with its shoot and scoot ability. The PZH-2000 can start a fire mission while on the move, with the first round fired only seconds after coming to a halt, and the dash speed allows it to quickly leave after firing. The mobility of the PZH-2000 is quite good for such a heavy vehicle. The track chassis provides a good cross-country performance. This artillery system is powered by the MTU MT881 KF51 supercharged diesel engine, developing 1,000 horsepower. It is also fitted with an auxiliary power unit which provides power when the engine is not running, even though the power-to-weight ratio is not very high, especially when fully loaded and fitted with additional roof armor. The dash speed remains high. Top speed on road is 65 km per hour and 45 km per hour off-road, with a maximal operational range of 420 km. This system measures 11.7 meters in length, 3.6 meters in width, and 3.1 meters in height. The artillery gun module, better known as AGM, was developed as a supplement to the PZH-2000 where heavier weaponry is not available, recommendable, or too expensive. This artillery system is operated by a crew of 2. It is a significantly lighter alternative to the PZH-2000, but provides the same performance. The first prototype was mounted on a track chassis of the M270 multiple launch rocket system. The AGM is also air transportable. The Donner 155mm self-propelled howitzer, which is a further development of the AGM based on the ASCOD-2 infantry fighting vehicle track chassis. This system is mainly aimed at the export customers. The Boxer RCH-155 is another integration of the AGM, based on a Boxer 8x8 armored personnel carrier. This artillery system retains features and performance parameters of the PZH-2000. The pace of fighting in the Ukraine seems to have taken its toll on their existing arsenal of PZH-2000s, with several examples reportedly needing urgent repair as a result of the high intensity of wear and tear that active combat service in Donbass has brought on. With the 100 howitzers on order by Ukraine still some way off of being delivered, maybe additional German and Dutch PZH-2000s could be sent in the meantime. What are your thoughts on the Panzer Haubitze 2000? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
The M10 Booker is set to become the future of armored fighting vehicles. As the winner of the U.S. Army's Mobile Protected Firepower program, this vehicle has the potential to be an ever-present feature for the most powerful army in the world. Let's discover why this monster was chosen for future development and when we can expect to see the M10 Booker to take the battlefield. In 2016, reports suggested that the Army wanted to create a light ground combat vehicle to maintain the relevance of infantry brigade combat teams when engaged in extensive fighting against a similar enemy. At first, this was dubbed a light tank, but U.S. Army representatives renamed this program to Mobile Protected Firepower so that troops didn't treat it like a traditional tank like the M1 Abrams main battle tank. The vehicle, with a heavy gun and tank-like mobility, is less armored than an MBT like the M1. It's designed to go places the Abrams can't, and to fight against enemy vehicles, defenses, and forces without needing the super heavy armor that weighs down battle tanks. The MPF's development gave an excellent opportunity to fill a void left by the retirement of the M551 Sheridan Armored Reconnaissance Airborne Assault Vehicle. The M551 did have technical flaws, but it was greatly appreciated for its robust operational abilities. This left a gap that needed filling. In 2018, the Army selected bids from General Dynamics Land Systems and BAE Systems to develop their designs to fit the MPF brief. Prototypes of GDLS's Griffin II and BAE's M8 AGS were sent to the Army at the beginning of 2020. 2 years later, BAE's submission was disqualified and the Army selected the GDLS model for initial production later that year. In 2023, the Army type reclassified the vehicle as the M10 Booker. Later that year, the U.S. Army revealed the award of a $1.14 billion contract to GDLS for the production and fielding of up to 96 of these vehicles. The overall objective is for 504 vehicles in total, with 14 MPFs per brigade combat team. There are two people, both no longer with us, who have the surname Booker and are specifically honored in the naming. The first is Robert D. Booker. He was a soldier who fought as part of the U.S. Army in North Africa in 1943. When fighting against Axis forces in World War II, he used his machine gun to defeat one machine gun nest and, despite receiving fatal injuries, guided his squad as they advanced. For these actions, he was awarded a posthumous Medal of Honor. The second person honored is Stephen A. Booker. He was among the tank crew leading the April 2003 assault on Baghdad. After the mounted machine gun failed to operate, he laid prone on top of the tank and guided his unit to defeat anti-tank fire. He was also fatally wounded during these actions and was awarded a posthumous Distinguished Service Cross. Now both will live on through this new vehicle that is set to be part of the U.S. Army's plans for decades. The design of the M10 Booker is conventional, with the driver and engine at the front, with the turret located at the rear of the hull. The turret houses a crew of a commander, gunner, and loader. The design of this turret is based on the M1 Abrams tank, using the M1A2 SEP V3 fire control system and the commander's independent thermal viewer. The vehicle also uses components and systems from the ASCOD Armored Tracked Vehicle Platform, which is fully designed and developed by General Dynamics European Land Systems. The Booker also has additional armor panels and under-vehicle protection against improvised explosive devices. For the additional safety of the crew, The design incorporates a tested compartmentalization system for ammunition storage. The vehicle has been designed with mobility and firepower in mind to make it a useful tool for clearing uneven terrain like the contested road to Baghdad or the fields of Tunisia, and then using a powerful gun to destroy fixed defenses and any defenders left crewing them. The U.S. Army already had one mobile tank-like vehicle with high-powered gun for similar purposes, the Stryker Mobile Gun System. That vehicle is armored and turreted, but has 8 wheels instead of treads, and the Army is looking to move away from this kind of system. The new M10 Booker will fill a similar role, with a body designed for the wars of this century. In terms of weaponry, the main armament of the M10 Booker MPF is a 105mm cannon based on the American M35. For secondary armament, there's a 7.62mm machine gun mounted coaxially. The cannon has the ability to fire armor-piercing discarding sabot and high-explosive rounds, with a maximum firing range of 1.8 kilometers for the armor-piercing shells and 4 kilometers for the high-explosives equivalent. This main cannon is loaded manually. One 12.7mm heavy machine gun can also be mounted on the commander hatch. For further protection, 2 banks of 4 smoke grenade launchers are mounted on each side at the front of the turret. In addition to its weapons, the M10 Booker has Safran Optic 1's Paseo Commander's Independent Tactical Viewer long-range panoramic targeting sight. This increases the situational awareness capabilities of armored and surveillance vehicles in all combat scenarios, whether that's stationary and on the move, even at high speeds. This feature is an advanced panoramic sight to improve the survivability and fighting capabilities of infantry fighting vehicles and main battle tanks. It's essential that the vehicle is mobile across a variety of terrains. To do this, the M10 Booker is equipped with a state-of-the-art MTU diesel engine contributing 800 horsepower and an Allison transmission system. This gives an excellent power-to-weight ratio, and the ride is further improved with hydropneumatic suspension. This all gives troops exceptional speed and adaptability in cross-country navigation. The Booker can run at a maximum road speed of 65 kilometers per hour and has a top road range of around 190 miles. The vehicle is able to operate for 24 hours off the ramp or on arrival at the drop zone. The way this tank-like vehicle is designed means it can move over steep hills, valleys, cities, and rivers with relative ease. The cross-drive transmission system that it's fitted with is specifically engineered to help with propulsion, steering, and braking in medium-track combat vehicles. The hydropneumatic suspension seen on the vehicle is developed by the company Horstman Group, which uses high-pressure nitrogen gas and an integral oil damper, all contained within the road arm. The suspension appears on each side of 6 road wheels with a drive sprocket at the front and the idler at the rear. The M10 Booker is priced at around $13 million apiece. Despite the ever-evolving counter-tank tools that are making armored assault vehicles harder, the need for militaries to advance under fire still remains. That makes tanks and tank-like vehicles a durable feature of modern armies, so expect to see the M10 Booker as a mainstay of future battles. What do you think about the M10 Booker? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Insane power of the M2 Bradley. In 1972, the U.S. Army requested design proposals to meet a requirement for a mechanized infantry fighting vehicle. The need for such a vehicle emerged directly from the arrival of the Soviet BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicles, which appeared in 1966 and combined mobility, firepower, and protection for a complete infantry squad. A complex series of design submissions and changing specifications followed until a fighting vehicle system appeared, comprising 2 vehicles, an infantry fighting vehicle, which became the M2 Bradley, and a cavalry fighting vehicle, which became the M3. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the M2 Bradley and see just how far it has come. Before we look at this, a quick reminder to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. But now, Back to the M2 Bradley. The M2 Bradley, or Bradley IFV, is an American infantry fighting vehicle manufactured by BAE Systems Land and Armaments, which was formerly United Defense. One specific design requirement was that it should be as fast as the new M1 Abrams main battle tank so that they could maintain formations while moving, something which the older M113 armored personnel carrier could not do, as it had been designed to complement the older M60 Patton. The main role of the M2 was to provide protected transport for infantry squads into close contact with the enemy. It offered a significantly higher level of protection for the dismounts than the M113 armored personnel carrier. The M2 Bradley has a welded aluminum armor hull, and the front arc has a space laminated aluminum and steel armor construction. The initial variant, M2A0, provided protection against 14.5mm armor-piercing rounds over the front arc. All round protection was likely to be against 7.62 to 12.7mm rounds and artillery shell splinters. Eventually, the protection level was increased on upgraded models, which were also fitted with explosive reactive armor blocks that withstands hits from anti-tank rocket launcher rounds. The M2 Bradley is also fitted with the nuclear, biological, chemical protection system. The vehicle is armed with a two-man turret, fitted with a 25mm dual-fed Bushmaster chain gun. At the time of its introduction, the Bradley was the first infantry fighting vehicle with a fully stabilized main gun. The gun fires both armor-piercing and high-explosive rounds, and there is a TOW anti-tank guided missile launcher loaded with 2 missiles. These missiles have a range of 3,750 meters, and the M2 can carry an additional 7 rounds. The Bushmaster chain gun is a single barrel with integrated dual-feed mechanism and remote feed section. Normal rate of fire is 100 or 200 RPM, with a possible single-shot selection. But it can also change the type of ammunition with the simple flick of a switch. 2 ready boxes, one of 70 rounds, the other of 230 rounds, are fitted in the turret, but 600 more rounds are stored inside of the hull. There is also a coaxial 7.62mm machine gun. This can fire normal rounds with tracers, and maximal range can be 3,700 meters. Although practical combat range on the ground is more likely 800 meters and up to 1,800 against air targets. The gunner uses a combined day-sight-night thermal sight link to the commander, with a 4x to 12x magnification range, plus his lateral periscopes and a daylight backup sight. Interestingly, during the U.S. military actions in Iraq from 2003 until 2011, the Bradley series armored vehicles destroyed more Iranian armored vehicles than the Abrams main battle tank. The original Bradley infantry fighting vehicle accommodated 3 crew members, commander, gunner, and driver, plus 6 dismounts. There was a rear-powered operated ramp with integral doors for entry and exit. Early models of the M2 Bradley had firing ports with dedicated 5.56mm assault rifles attached. These firing ports were removed on upgraded models in order to increase protection of the side armor. Original versions of this infantry fighting vehicle were powered by a Cummins VTA 903 T500 turbocharged diesel engine, developing 500 horsepower. The maximum road speed was 66 km per hour, with a range of 480 kilometers. The engine is located at the front and is mated to an automatic transmission. The M2 Bradley weighs 27.6 short tons and measures 6.55 meters in length, 3.60 meters in width, and 2.98 meters in height. The Bradley is designed to cross any terrain, even water, with the use of a swim barrier. It can transition to amphibious mode in 5 minutes. The newest Bradley models have an inflatable pontoon that is fitted to the front and sides of the vehicle. On water, the Bradley is propelled by spinning its tracks with a top speed of 7 km per hour. Throughout its service life, the M2 Bradley Infantry Fighting Vehicle series has been the subject of numerous enhancements to improve combat capabilities and survivability for the vehicle and dismounts. Over the years, there have been 4 major improvement programs. Operational vehicles were upgraded to the M2A1, M2A2, M2A3, and M2A4 standards. The M2A1, developed in 1986, was fitted with TOW-2 anti-tank guided missiles of new generation. The vehicle was also fitted with explosive reactive armor blocks and an improved nuclear, biological, chemical protection system. The Bradley M2A2 was developed in 1988. This variant was fitted with an upgraded Cummins VTA 903 T600 engine, developing 600 horsepower. The vehicle has a strengthened suspension and improved armor protection. Firing ports were removed from the hull sides due to the added armor panels. Add-on explosive reactive armor blocks could be fitted for protection against anti-tank rockets and missiles. The hull floor was reinforced with steel plates for improved protection against mines, and the interior was lined with a spall liner. The front arc of the M2A2 withstands hits from 30mm armor-piercing ammunition and all-round protection against 14.5mm heavy machine gun fire. Due to significantly increased weight, this vehicle ended up being underpowered. Maximum road speed was just 56 km per hour, and unrefueled range reduced to 400 km. Off-road mobility was also negatively affected. Some sources report that delivery of the Cummins VTA 903 T600 engine began in 1991. By 1999, Cummins had delivered well over 11,000 engines for the upgraded Bradleys and various versions of this vehicle. The M2A2 ODS, or Operation Desert Storm, is an upgraded version developed in 1995. Improvements for this vehicle were based on combat experience during the 1991 Gulf War. Upgraded vehicles were fitted with an eye-safe laser rangefinder and tactical navigation system with a GPS receiver. There was a missile countermeasure device that could defeat first-generation wire-guided missiles. Another improvement was a battlefield command information system. The driver's station was fitted with a thermal imaging system for operation at night and in adverse weather conditions. Internal stowage was optimized and an extra seat was added. This meant that the M2A2 could carry 7 dismounts instead of 6. Croatia has reached an agreement with the USA to purchase 89 of the Desert Storm vehicles for $196.4 million, which included an additional 22 vehicles for spare parts. This makes a unit price of over $2.2 million per used M2A2 ODS vehicle. The next upgraded version of the M2 Bradley is the M2A3, which was introduced in 2002. Currently, this variant is the standard Bradley infantry fighting vehicle in service with the U.S. Army, and most previous Bradley IVFs were upgraded to this standard. The A3 upgrades make the Bradley IFV totally digital and upgrade or improve existing electronic systems throughout, improving target acquisition and fire control, navigation, and situational awareness. Also, survivability of the vehicle is upgraded with a series of armor improvements, again both passive and reactive, as well as improved fire suppression systems and nuclear, biological, chemical equipment. After the Iraq War, the Army began researching engineering change proposals for the M2 Bradley to restore space, weight, power, and cooling capacity reduced by the addition of armor and electronics hastily added during combat. The new proposals aim to restore mobility and allow the vehicle to handle more weight. The M2A4 is equipped with an enhanced drivetrain, more powerful engine developing 675 horsepower, new digitized electronics, a new fire suppression system, and a new IED jammer. Deliveries of upgraded vehicles commenced in 2020. In 2022, the first operational unit was equipped with the modernized M2A4 Bradley vehicles. The U.S. Army plans to upgrade more than 700 Bradleys to the new standard until 2029. Deliveries of the M2 Bradley commenced in 1981 and have continued since, with totals of over 4,600 vehicles. Some 400 M2 IFVs have been exported to Saudi Arabia. In 2017, a total of 32 M2A2s were delivered to Lebanon, and in 2020, it was announced that 350 M2A2s would be delivered to Greece. Upgraded M2 Bradley IFVs are scheduled to remain in active service with the U.S. military, at least until 2029 and beyond, and there's no immediate plans to replace this vehicle with a next-generation infantry fighting vehicle. What do you think of the insane power of the M2 Bradley? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.